This is Dave Raffo from Channel Partners, and we're here with another edition of Channel Partners TV, or what we call CPTV. And I'm joined by Rob Allen, the Chief Product Officer of ThreatLocker. Thanks for joining me, Rob.
Good to be here, Dave.
So, ThreatLocker has long been known for zero trust at the application level. So, what prompted the expansion of into zero trust network access and cloud access?
Fundamentally, we saw a problem or a number of problems that needed solving, and that is pretty much what we do: is we find problems that need solving and we solve them. I would argue we do a pretty good job at the endpoint level, application control wise, helping organizations be more secure. The problem is the attack surface doesn't stop at the endpoint. A lot of attacks start at the endpoint, but the attack surface doesn't stop at the endpoint. So whether you're talking about giving secure remote access to users on the network or stopping phishing from being so effective, which it currently is, they're some of the problems that we're trying to solve with the new solutions.
Good philosophy for a cybersecurity company. Find problems and solve problems. I guess that's the root of it. So what are the major security gaps that these new ThreatLocker products are designed to close?
Well, there's a couple of them. So zero trust network access. I mean, I suppose the default position for organizations that need to give remote access to resources to staff, heretofore or for a long time has been VPNs. People have been under the impression that VPNs are secure or make them more secure, when in the reality is VPN port open to the internet is just one more port that's open. Again, it's increasing the attack surface. And we, customers, prospects, all sorts of people have seen attacks take place from outside the network. In some cases, it's through compromised VPN credentials. In some cases, it's through vulnerabilities and firewalls. But however they happen, having anything exposed to the internet is a bad idea. Having every port that you have open to the internet increases your attack surface, much in the same way that every application that you allow to run in your environment increases your attack surface. So if you can provide secure remote access to internal resources without having to open ports to the internet, then you're going to be in a much better place. Zero trust cloud access is the other big thing, because, as I said, the attack surface has expanded, and being able to lock down and secure your cloud resources could be argued as important, if not in some cases more important, than being able to secure your network and your local resources. So zero trust cloud access is a way of massively reducing, effectively massively reducing the attack surface. But rather than having to allow, for example, the entire world access your Office 365 or your Salesforce or whatever your system you use in the cloud is, instead of trying to lock it down by devices, instead of trying to lock it down by users, effectively it allows you to lock it down to just a couple of IP addresses. So your phone, for example, at the moment, in order for my phone to be able to connect to our Office 365, basically our Office 365 has to accept connections effectively for all phones. With this, you can lock it down to just a couple of IP addresses. So basically, my phone has an agent on it. It basically connects to our infrastructure, brokers a connection, and then is allowed to connect to our Office 365. So again, it massively reduces the attack surface for not just Office 365, but G Suite, Salesforce, you name it. You pick a cloud platform, you can lock it down by IP address. And if you can lock it down by IP address, it means that it doesn't matter if my credentials get grabbed or phished or stolen or tokens are taken. It makes absolutely no difference. Only these couple of trusted IP addresses need to be able to connect to these cloud resources.
So many attacks today involve phishing, token theft, session hijacking. How does ThreatLocker stop attackers even if they have valid credentials?
The beauty about this is it doesn't matter if credentials get phished or stolen. It doesn't matter if somebody mistakenly or, through MFA bombing or whatever the mechanism happens to be, that somebody even not only gives their credentials away, but also approves a MFA request. We actually did a internal exercise a couple of weeks ago for our solutions engineers team. And in fairness, it was a pretty intense internal red team, whereby we run our own event here in Florida every year. It's called Zero Trust World. We sent a email pertaining to be from the organizer of Zero Trust World to all of our solutions engineers, many of whom will do presentations at our event, saying, look, here's a link to a SharePoint, make sure all your presentations are okay, and let me know if anything is wrong. Looked pretty believable, came from a completely fake domain and used basically a reverse proxy to Office 365 to encourage these people to type in their credentials, approve MFA. Our solutions engineers are probably the best trained, best educated and most security conscious staff members we have. And 5 of them fell for it. Because, again, it's the usual mechanism. It's something is urgent, something is believable, something's important, I need to action it now. And so many users, no matter how well you train them, will fall for these things. Now, we had a couple of incidents in the previous few months where salespeople just literally fell victim to phishing. They let attackers into their accounts. Now, in those cases, we detected it because we do also have a detection component. We've got a cloud detect platform where basically we're looking for indicators of compromise in the likes of Office 365. The problem is if an attacker doesn't do anything that indicates compromise, so if they don't set up forwarding rules, if they don't do unusual things in the mailbox, the danger is they could be there for weeks or months or years. I mean, there's been occasions over the last week, or a large occasion over the last week, where Intune was compromised and remote device wipes were pushed. Again, all of those problems basically go away if you can restrict access to your cloud resources. So again, that's the problem that we were trying to solve, was that, look, MFA is good. MFA is better than no MFA, but MFA is not perfect. It is not an entire solution. It does not solve all problems. And this is something that will help organizations solve those problems.
As you said at the beginning, a lot of problems to find and problems to solve. So
absolutely.
Keep you busy. All right, so there'll be lots of security at the Channel Partners Conference. ThreatLocker mainly will be there talking many of these same topics we discussed today. So if you're watching this, hope to see you April 13th to the 16th at the Venetian in Las Vegas. Like I said, ThreatLocker will be there. And thanks for joining me today, Rob.
Thank you, Dave. Pleasure.